Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your NXT Takeover Unstoppable preview and predictions.
Yo, what's going on, guys? John, aka Vocal Aggression, here alongside my cohort in commentary, Ashton, here for NXT Takeover Unstoppable preview and predictions. I gotta tell you, me and Ashton have done a lot of preview and predictions, and I'm not gonna commit hyperbole and say that this is gonna be one of the best, because every single one we do is one of the best. Just kidding.
No, you're not. Stop saying stuff like that.
But I do think this is gonna be one of the more intriguing ones we've had. Because I feel like, we have learned some things today, Ashton, you and I, in our conversation before recording. That does kind of put my mind at ease. But I think there are still so many questions going into this show that I can't wait to discuss with you, both the answers to those questions and the possibilities of the consequences to those answers. Yep. So, let's get right into it, brother. I'm so excited right now.
Okay, let's start with the match that probably has the least meaning to it right now. It's a random sort of thrown together tag team match. I'm guessing that if the number one contenders match doesn't jerk the curtain, that this will. Bayley and Charlotte versus Dana Brooke and Emma. 3 out of the 4 of these women can work.
Yeah. One of these things is not like the other. Here's the thing, though, and I'm going to apologize in advance to everybody before we formally begin the discussion of this match. I am probably going to overthink a lot of these, but I'm going to try and put the brakes on that right now, because this match, at first I'm thinking, it's pretty straightforward, right? I expect the baby faces to get their win, particularly, Bayley getting her stuff back on Emma. But then I'm thinking, They've
been pushing Dana Brooke pretty hard.
They've been pushing Dana Brooke pretty hard, but they want to protect Charlotte. So I think after really thinking about it, and I'm glad I did all my thinking before we got here, otherwise this would have been a pain in the neck, I'm going to pick the baby faces with Bayley pinning Emma. Because
that's my exact scenario. We completely agree. Yeah, 100%.
Because it's not going to matter if Dana Brooke loses in tag team action and Charlotte isn't even a part of the decision or whatever, because then their beef can continue separately.
Right.
But then Bayley can squash her beef. So, I'm going to say Bayley and Charlotte. Dana Brooke continues her momentum, and she'll get her singles match with Charlotte down the line, which she'll probably, unfortunately, win.
Yeah. All right. Well, we completely agree on that. No arguments from me on that match. So let's move on to the next match that really doesn't have any meaning beyond just 2 guys that want to fight. Baron Corbin versus Rhyno, and I think it's probably safe to say that Corbin is going to win this.
And see, this is another one that I'm kind of waffling a little bit on. It's weird because Corbin dominated Solomon Crowe. Yeah. Solomon Crowe, he had a little bit of offense, right? We acknowledge that. But he really ragdolled him, and he openly enjoyed it. Now, this has been Baron Corbin's character, I think, since day one. He's made no bones about enjoying punishing people.
To me, this is more about the WWE finding something for Baron Corbin to do than, let's push Rhyno.
You know what? And see, this is going to be another Bray Wyatt Ryback thing, because I think you're going to get me on my side, but this time I think I'm going to have to stick with my gut. I'm thinking Rhyno's going to win this thing, dude.
Why, though?
I'm thinking Rhyno's going to win this thing, and then it's just going to push Baron Corbin over the edge to, full-blown heel, where it's not even going to be that,
But he is already full-blown heel.
Well, I guess to a degree, but I don't know. I just feel like something's going to change within Baron Corbin, and Rhyno's going to be the catalyst. I can't really even
Okay, well, I'm not going to try and sway you. I'm just kind of picking what makes the most sense to me. So.
Oh, yeah, of course. I just, to me, and here's the thing. Logically speaking, I agree with you. Baron Corbin should beat Rhyno, and then he should make his case for the NXT Championship, after whoever emerges from the number one contendership, this and that. He should start building towards that. In fact, if you want my honest opinion, I feel like Baron Corbin should win here, and he should begin feuding with the loser of the number one contender match to kind of move up the rankings.
I would agree with that. I actually think that's a great idea.
And I think it makes all the more sense if we pick for that match, who I think we're going to pick, which we'll get to later. But
that's actually going to be the next match that we pick.
Excellent. But I just, for some odd reason, I just feel like Rhyno's going to win this. So no rhyme or reason, just picking the War Machine. So.
All right. So suppose Baron Corbin does win.
Yeah.
Moving on, Finn Balor versus Tyler Breeze. Which one of these guys is going to be Baron Corbin's next feud, a.k.a. who's going to lose?
Finn Balor, definitely.
Okay, now, before we actually talk about this match, I just want to throw this out there because it is a rumor floating around on Reddit.
Oh, boy, here. I think I know what's coming. Let's do it.
Do we think Samoa Joe is going to be inserted into this match?
And there it is. You know, Ashton, I don't know. I really don't. Because in one way, what a fantastic way to debut Joe, right? In a match like this, where you know he could hold his own and everything. On another level, though, do you want to just thrust him into a match, or do you want his debut to have atmosphere? Because the way I pictured Joe's debut, I mean, we might as well have both conversations, right? Samoa Joe and then the actual match, Balor Breeze. I envision Joe having a stare down with Owens after the main event. I'm just going to say that right now. Having a stare down with Owens, and I feel like Samoa Joe is going to come in as a babyface. Now, I don't know how you feel about Joe. I want to get your thoughts.
Oh, no, I agree. I agree that it makes sense for him to be a babyface.
Yeah, because with Kevin Owens kind of running the yard, we need another big dog to kind of be like, well, you're not going to push me around. And I kind of wish that it would be Baron Corbin, but again, he's preoccupied at the moment. I think they do want to continue to build him up. So I suspect a stare down with Owens.
So you think Samoa Joe won't show up until the end of the night?
He's not showing up till the end of the show.
You know what? I do think that you're right. I do. As much as I want to believe that Triple H has the balls to be like, hey guys, this is Samoa Joe. We know that you know who he is. We know that you know how legit he is. And we know that you know that he's legitimate enough to be in this spot right now. Let's see if he can win the number one contendership.
Well, I mean, let's go one step further. Let's treat these rumors with the gravity that I think they deserve.
See, that's the thing though, John. The rumor, and I'm guessing that the rumor that he would be added to the triple threat was a dirt sheet spin on the actual rumor, which was started by Falcon Arrow, who is also the guy that said that Kevin Owens would debut on Raw last night. All he said was Samoa Joe has signed a deal for at least 2 years. He'll make an appearance at the end of Unstoppable pending a change in plans, but as of now, that's locked in. And most importantly to me, he's keeping the name Samoa Joe.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's huge, I think.
And remember this, just to kind of maintain the status quo, this is the same guy that said that Kevin Owens would debut on Raw last night.
And he was on point.
He was.
Completely.
Yeah.
So I guess here's my thing to kind of continue giving you the ball. I mean, what if they do both? What if we have Joe in this triple threat? He wins, and then he makes no bones about confronting the champion right away. I mean, I say Kevin Owens because that's what I presume is going to happen, which we'll get more in depth to later. But you know, maybe it would be Sami Zayn. Just whoever the champion is, he has contendership, and then he saunters down to the ring and he confronts him. I mean, Joe is such a fascinating part of this show. Because I think we're all waiting to see what he's going to do.
To me, like I said, I think the most interesting thing is that he's keeping the name.
Yeah, he's keeping the name.
Like, I don't know, like, you would think that TNA would have some kind of a copyright on that, but I mean, if they don't, I think it's cool that he is kind of letting WWE get that copyright. Because obviously they wouldn't let him keep it unless he would allow them to use the copyright on it.
Honestly, I know this is going to come off as a dig at TNA, and I guess part of me wants it to be a dig at TNA, but it doesn't surprise me that they wouldn't have the sense of mind to get copyrights on names like that have been wildly successful.
I mean, it's incredibly dumb, but that's incredibly TNA.
Exactly. You said it better than I ever could. But I guess, I mean, to me, Joe's in great shape. I'm super stoked to see him, whether it's in the triple threat or the
That's another thing. We just saw a picture of him on, it was Twitter or Instagram, I'm not sure, last week, and he is looking like he's in great shape. Not necessarily like, Adrian Neville shape, but still, presentable shape.
For Samoa Joe, it's great shape because his final few years in TNA, and see, what a change in career and being somewhere where I think he secretly wanted to be can do for
and not only that, but I don't think the WWE would have let him get away with being as lazy as he was.
No way. Well, I mean, ask Cassius Ohno, and I don't even think it was a lazy guy.
I mean, and not just Cassius Ohno. Ask Kevin Owens, ask Bray Wyatt. Both of those guys were really heavy going into WWE, or in Bray Wyatt's case, going into main roster, and they both lost a ton of weight.
Yeah, Bray especially. Like, I thought about what you said, like Payback Live reactions, and so WWE has that kind of policy. Yeah. So Joe's going to be ready to fight.
Yeah, like Samoa, he might still be overweight, but it's not going to be like the grotesque, flabby kind of overweight that he was in his dying days of TNA.
Exactly. Oh, and thank goodness for that, because I miss this Samoa Joe that I think we're going to get here. But let's focus now, if Joe's not going to be part of this equation,
Balor versus Breeze, and I agree with you. I think, here's my thing. I don't necessarily, how do I put this? I am more excited for the Finn Balor debut on Raw than I am excited for the Finn Balor NXT World Title run. Like, I don't even think he's ever going to run with the title. I just think because I feel like he's going to get pushed to the main roster before he even gets a chance to.
Right.
I feel like Finn Balor on the main roster is something that is going to be set in stone within 6 months.
Oh, definitely.
And that said, I don't think he's going to win and lose the NXT World Title in that time. So yeah, I do agree. Tyler Breeze to win in this match.
And this is, again, I said I was going to suppress my overthinking, and so far I think I've done pretty well on that, and I'm going to do it.
And then that's another thing, too, is Tyler Breeze, let's not allow ourselves to forget, a loss to Tyler Breeze doesn't necessarily hurt your career. Look back at the first TakeOver live special.
Yeah.
He beat Sami Zayn, and it was also a number one contenders championship, or another one contenders match, and I don't think he ever even ended up getting a one-on-one title shot.
No, he didn't, and that's an injustice that I think is going to be remedied starting at Unstoppable. The only thing I will say that made me a little weary, but I'm still going with Breeze, he has a crap ton of momentum going into this match, and that's sometimes uncharacteristic.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You
mean just because he laid both the guys out at the last show?
Yeah, well, twice. I mean, he did it the one time, and then like the week after he did it again. So.
Yeah, but he didn't win those matches though, did he?
He won the tag match, and then I think the other match it was
him versus Itami, and
Itami won. Yeah, Itami won that, so he kind of broke even there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that this is a case of you wanting to overthink it, and I don't want to.
No, like I said, I'm going Breeze. I'm just putting that out there.
You're just you're hedging your bets, basically.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sticking with. Yeah.
Generally frowned upon, but I'll let you.
But I mean, no, I'm sticking with Breeze. All my eggs are in that basket. I'm just letting everybody know, like, he's had a lot of momentum, and I think that needs to be acknowledged.
Yep.
So I think that does kind of make a case for people picking Balor, but I'm telling you, I think we're finally going to get that feud that you and I have been talking about. So Breeze for the win.
I have to ask a question.
Yeah.
Has the Demon Balor lost yet?
I don't think so.
Because that might be worth taking into account.
They are two distinct entities.
He defeated Adrian Neville at the last one to become number one contender. He and Itami beat the Ascension at the one before that when he was the Demon. I think Demon Balor might be undefeated, John. Do we really?
I'm sticking with Breeze, man.
Yeah. That's really difficult for me, though.
Actually, now that you bring up Demon Balor, my question isn't so much like is he going to win or lose. My question is how much of Balor will have the Demon consumed by then? Yeah. Because the pain takes over a little bit more each time, so I'm curious.
Well, I mean, he's only done it twice.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's another thing, too, is that we've seen him wrestle at a few live events as the Demon, and I don't necessarily think that he's undefeated in those matches.
Right.
Because I'm sure there was that. Oh, that's right. There was that WrestleMania tournament, and wasn't he the Demon in that?
No, I don't think he was.
No? Okay. No. Well, I know he was the Demon at San Jose, but I don't know if he actually won that match or not.
Right. I mean, and another question. I mean, him and Kevin Owens have faced before, and you know, they want to do.
But Breeze has never faced Owens before.
Exactly. And, but Balor has never faced Owens as the Demon. And Owens even told him, like, you're going to need to bring the Demon. And Balor was like, no, I don't. And then he lost. So we even said on TWitWoW, I wonder if that's going to pose the question of the next time they meet, Balor brings out the Demon and what kind of consequences would that have? However, I don't know. I'm just feeling like Breeze is on one hell of a roll right now. And while that normally works against him, I'm gonna go against my usual intuition. I'm going to say that he wins. And we're going to do this.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to stick with you. I'm going to stick with Breeze. Although the idea that, Demon Balor has never lost is definitely a concern to me. Like I'm literally looking through Profight DB right now trying to find a time that I remember him being the Demon Balor and then losing, and I can't.
Right. Yeah. So
it's definitely a huge concern.
Yeah, without question.
So, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know, because it seems like the WWE is really trying to make it seem like the Demon Balor is this unstoppable force, and Finn Balor is really, really good, but at that same note, he is mortal.
Exactly.
Oh, All right, let's. I'm going to start to overthink it, and I'm going to end up switching my vote. So I'm just going to stick with these. Let's move on. Blake and Murphy versus Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy. Do we think that this is the time?
What do you mean by the time for like?
Do we think that this is the time for Enzo and Cass to win the titles?
See, I'm glad you asked that because it shocks me on TWitWoW, our friends that we've been seeing, saying that Enzo and Cass are going to win this. I don't know if that's like a preference because Enzo and Cass are so over.
I don't know. The way she burned Blake and Murphy, I wanted Carmella to turn on Cass and Enzo and go with Blake and Murphy, but now it's starting to look like Alexa Bliss is going to be in their corner, maybe?
Yeah. I don't know, dude. See,
do we think that maybe Alexa and Carmella are going to get into a tuffle and it's going to distract Enzo and he's going to get pinned?
See, I'm definitely thinking Enzo's eating the pin, and that's definitely a scenario that I think plays out quite well for him. So.
Okay, yeah, I'm on the same page as you now. See, I love it when we can have these little discussions, and I'll be kind of right in the middle of the fence, maybe leaning towards one way, and you could be like, no, you don't want to lean that way. You want to come over here, come to this side, and I'll be like,
come over here, actually. Yeah. And you've done the same for me plenty of times. I just have to say, like, and it's nothing even against the people that have picked Enzo and Cass. I get it. Like, I love them, and I think they've got, like, a lot of momentum. The crowd's behind them, and they will be NXT Tag Team Champions. I just don't think it's going to be an unstoppable.
I think my biggest question, though, is if Enzo and Cass win the titles, they have a really good pool of tag teams that are heels to fight.
Right.
They have the rematch with Blake and Murphy. They have heel vaudevillains. They have the Shootin' Nation. They have options.
Right.
Blake and Murphy retain. It really just comes down to Enzo and Cass again because there aren't really any babyface tag teams on NXT right now.
And see, that's the thing. I don't know necessarily if Blake and Murphy get rid of Enzo and Cass if they win this match. I just feel like, they win this match. This is one victory, one battle in the grander war. I just don't see it. And maybe it's because I'm kind of looking past Enzo and Cass because I just can't see them with the way Enzo is. But when Cass gets that hot tag, though, he's damn near unstoppable.
Yeah. That's what the name of the show is, John!
Yeah, I caught it like son of a bitch. Yeah. See, now I'm going to overthink this now, Ashton, because now I don't know. But I think I'm going to.
But I think that this might be worth overthinking because I feel like we weren't thinking enough.
We really weren't because you know what? I'm going to be honest. I was thinking more about what are Carmella and Alexa going to do.
Right.
I don't think I've been thinking enough about the match itself. And
so let me just pose this question to you, John. I think that this should be at least possible to answer if we're going to pick Blake and Murphy. Assuming Blake and Murphy retain, who do they face for the next 3 months, and then who are their opponents at the next live special?
Ooh. Well, I'd say for one thing, they'd probably have one more match with Enzo and Cass.
Right, I would agree with that.
As much as I hate to say it, I mean, well, not hate to say it, because I love them together regardless. I mean, maybe vaudevillains would be babyface. They'd come back refreshed and refocused. We haven't seen them in forever. I'm wondering where the hell they are. Because you remember my theories. I thought they were going to do a huge breakup angle, this, that, and the other. Nothing happened. It's like they dropped off the face of the earth. We know that guys like Balor and Itami can't pursue them because Itami's injured, and I think Balor's just moved on from tag teams altogether.
Maybe. Oh, no, but they would be heel tag team. I was going to suggest maybe Baron Corbin and Rhyno kind of, they after the match, they kind of buddy up and they're like, man, I respect you. You're tough. And the other guy's just like, yeah, I respect you too. You're tough. We should team together.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I could see something like that. Like, I thought that was going to happen with Baron Corbin and Bull Dempsey.
Right.
So, I don't know. I feel like I do feel like there's potential for a tag team to be made over that course of time, but I mean, still, maybe Ty Dillinger finds a tag team partner. I don't know.
Dude, you know what, too? And I don't want to muddy the waters, so
the Mechanics?
I was going to say the Mechanics, because they technically
they're a heel
beat
team.
Enzo and Cass. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, that gives credence to Enzo and Cass winning, because they had a match with them that never even got started.
Oh, yeah.
So
if you really want to look at it from a heel perspective, they won by forfeit.
They won by forfeit. Enzo and Cass win the tag titles. They get over their rematch with Blake and Murphy, and then the Mechanics answer the call.
But then what do Blake and Murphy do afterwards? These guys are not getting called up to the main roster anytime soon.
They're not. And really, the Lucha Dragons still need...
Maybe a Buddy Murphy singles push? Why did you laugh at that?
Because I find it funny that we're always singling out Murphy because he's the really talented one, and Wesley Blake just gets the table scraps. But
well, I mean, that's the thing though. Like, Wesley Blake is really good in this role, but he's not a singles star. Whereas Buddy Murphy can be a singles star.
Yeah, Buddy Murphy's going to be very interesting if he ever does singles.
He's going to be that like Christian style guy where he puts on amazing matches every week and no one talks about it.
Yeah. Except for TWitWoW, because we're self-aware.
Well, yeah, of course.
But, yeah.
We got some TWitWoW, or some Reddit comments this week, John. Would you like me to read some?
Oh, my God, absolutely. I've been waiting for this day to come forever.
Well, I finally started posting the TWitWoW videos on Reddit. So now people are starting to actually, have something to talk about on Reddit.
Oh, cool. What do we got?
Yeah, on the John Cena versus Kevin Owens live reactions, SMKNWU said, "I love the enthusiasms. Their reactions are what make this my favorite wrestling podcast." So thank you, SMKNWU.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to us.
And Absolutely. Then our Raw review, the one that we just did last night, Steely Arnold said, "You guys are criminally underrated. I listen to a few other wrestling podcasts, and I really look forward to yours because of how comprehensive your coverage is and the fact that you guys have well-informed and balanced critiques of the products. Please continue what you're doing. You're doing tremendous work."
Well, that hits hard. We thank you very much for that.
I said that to that. I said, thanks a ton. Comments like this are excellent motivation, and they really are. It's awesome to see stuff like that. So, guys, hey, we've got some other people talking to us on the TWitWoW subreddit, so make sure to join in on that.
Yeah, join in the conversation. I love the fans that we have. You guys.
And hey, here's the thing: if you're already on Reddit, it's free upvotes because whoever comments in our TWitWoW subreddit, I upvote the comments every time.
Absolutely. Look, I've said it since day one. My kind of little catchphrase: talk to us, because I love the feedback. That's going to motivate me to kind of create my own little Reddit for TWitWoW engagement, and I'll definitely engage with you guys as well. So
you don't need to create a new one. You can just come in and talk to people on the one that already exists.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do have an old one now that I come to think of it. But yeah, I mean, I definitely be a part of that conversation, guys. So keep it going. I love it. I absolutely love it, and they mean the world to us. But going back to the matchup.
Well, and that's kind of what I wanted to say too. Was I want other people's opinions on what they think's going to happen. We have about 24 hours now until. I mean, by the time this gets up, it'll only be 22 hours. But we've got about 24 hours until the show tomorrow night. I'm curious, what do you guys think is going to happen with this tag team match? I think this is the hardest match to call on this card.
I never even thought it would be too. And you know what?
But with all the discussion that we've had, I'm going to pick the upset, man. I'm going with Enzo and Big Cass to win just because of WTF is going to happen in the future if Blake and Murphy retain.
And you know what? I can't believe I'm doing this because I was so staunch in the beginning about Blake and Murphy, but I'm going to join you. But I'm going to join you on the basis of mechanics are coming for the gold. I just feel like that whole thing wasn't an accident. We're going to be seeing more of the mechanics in the very near future, which isn't a complaint from me. So Enzo and Cass for the win.
I love the mechanics. They're going to be awesome. All right.
Oh, my God.
We have 2 matches left, man. We have 2 matches left. The 2 most important matches of the night. Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch for the NXT Women's Championship, a.k.a. the Show Stealer.
And you know what? I'm glad you said that because I think it only further, gives credence to my opening statement. There is so much pressure on this match, not just because of the expectations people have, but because of the precedent that's been set from women's matches on these live specials.
Oh, see, and I don't think that there's that much pressure. To me, this is the pay-per-view that, A, Sasha Banks proves that the magic between her and Charlotte was more her than Charlotte, and B, Becky Lynch breaks out as a star.
Oh, definitely. Becky Lynch, to me, is kind of the anomaly in this thing. Not that I think she's going to win. Let me make explicitly clear right now so there's no ambiguity. I think Sasha Banks is retaining. Let me just get that out of the way right now.
Yeah.
So then my conversation...
Can we also make it clear that we both want Sasha to retain, but if Becky wins, I don't think either one of us would complain?
I wouldn't complain. Look, if Sasha's going to lose, hey, look, I'll say it like this. better Becky Lynch than Dana Brooke at this point, okay?
Well, yeah, and not only that, but with Sasha, if she loses, that could definitely be a sign of a nearby call-up.
Exactly, definitely. So, see, like, we're pulling it right back here. We're taking the negatives and we're turning them into positives.
Well, that's the thing, though, is the beautiful thing with NXT is you never know when someone's going to have to drop a title because they're getting called up soon. And I say it's a beautiful thing because at the end of the day, that is the goal of developmental, is for these people to be on the main roster. And Triple H has openly said that he wants Sasha Banks, and he knows they can, but he wants Sasha Banks and Charlotte to change how women are perceived in the wrestling industry. Now if that's not enough of a pat on the back, I don't know what is.
And they can do it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like I even said, and he knows they can, but yeah.
Exactly. And here's the thing. I mean, they can, and even though I'm not the biggest Bayley fan, I know she can definitely assist them. Paige can definitely assist them. Naomi can definitely assist them. We can have a division. Yeah.
I think that the three stalwarts there are Sasha, Paige, and Charlotte. Mostly Sasha and Paige, but yeah, Charlotte can get in on it too. And honestly, it might be a little bit longer until she gets called up, but I think Becky Lynch is in that category with Sasha and Paige as well.
Becky Lynch, to me,
those are like the true character worker, like all around pure, just great performers in this company, female wise. Like I love Natalya as an in-ring worker, but her personality is the most cringeworthy thing that the WWE has had since that frickin' Hoda woman was spanking the other woman's ass with wine.
Right. Oh my God, that segment.
It was so bad, but like that's what Natalya reminds me of. That is her personality.
The thing with Becky Lynch is, and I'm glad we kind of brought the conversation back to her, how she has grown and changed from the stereotype to this kind of punk rocker with this little mini feud with Corey Graves on commentary, which is amazing.
Well, and that's another thing too, is that she's toned it down a little.
Right.
Like it's gotten down from she comes out and swings her hair, and then she gets in the ring and puts her head out the ropes and swings her hair again, and then she gets back in the ring and swings her hair one more time, to now she literally just swings her hair once.
Yeah.
And it's still kind of like, okay, really? Do you really need to do that? But it's so much better than what it was.
See, what I'm expecting, personally, is I think this is going to be kind of like a wrestling shootout, if you will. We are going to see so many exchanges of submission holds back and forth, I think, towards the tail end of this thing, that I will say right now, too, that not only do I expect Sasha Banks to win, I expect a submission finish.
It's going to be like a modern-day Angle Benoit.
Yeah, and that's what I've been thinking since, that one segment at the contract signing where Becky just catches Sasha in that armbar, is that, they're going to go back and forth, but then there's going to come a point, Sasha gets the bank statement, she's going to be unrelenting on it, and Becky is going to tap out, but she's going to look like a beast because she lasted a long time before she gave in. And I could just see Becky having the ring to herself, people giving her a standing ovation. This could be one of those moments. I mean, like you said, Becky becomes a breakout star here. I'm fully anticipating it. Mick Foley said we could have a match of the year contender. I'll have my document open ready to put this match down if it achieves that hype. I'm just expecting a clinic between these two. It's going to be...
I'm surprised you don't have Sasha Charlotte on the list.
You know what? I have to rewatch that, and maybe I would put it on the list, dude, because I know that was an insane matchup. I need to watch it again.
Yeah.
Even bouts that I don't have listed on there, I'm going to go and watch again and see if they would make the final cut, but that's another conversation for another time. This matchup...
Just to kind of make everything official, I looked it up, and Becky Lynch's finisher is exactly what I thought it was, just a seated Fujiwara armbar.
Yeah. I mean,
They haven't given it a name or anything like that yet.
She's got that finisher. She's got the leg submission she can use.
The 4-leg clover.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy, man. And, I think there are a lot of people, and rightfully so, I think to a degree, that think that Sasha's just going to get the kind of like the hiccup pin, steal one, whatever. But no, I think these two are going to – I think Sasha has something to prove, and I think she's going to get that submission win. So, yeah, it's going to be a great one, though.
You think she's going to make Becky tap?
Yeah, I really do. And there's no shame in it, though, because if they have the back and forth that I'm anticipating, then Sasha's just going to be kind of like that pit bull at the tail end of it and be unrelenting. And Becky, after, sustaining it for maybe a few minutes or whatever, finally gives in. It's going to be a war.
So and I think you're right that they're going to have some trades, but I think that Becky is going to get caught up in the trades and not realize, oh, wait a minute, Sasha Banks is a heel, and Sasha's going to get her either with the tights or with her feet on the rope.
Yeah. And I mean, that would be a great way to go too, because I mean, it gives Sasha that heel heat, and
Yep.
oh my God, how it makes Becky Lynch look,
Yep.
because she was out wrestling Sasha Banks, and Sasha did not know what to do.
Yep.
So
That's my
that's a
thing. That's
yeah,
what I think's gonna happen.
yeah, that's a great direction to go. But you know, I just again, and I know because Angle Benoit is my favorite feud of all time, and I just think about that Royal Rumble matchup where Angle's like, no, I lost to Benoit twice. I have something to prove. I'm better than him. And with Sasha, she was humiliated by Becky getting caught in that armbar. And I
She
think
wouldn't admit it though.
she wouldn't admit it though. And I think she's kind of hearing people saying, "Oh, look at Becky Lynch breakout. She got this really cool video package. People are getting behind her. She's all impassioned." And Sasha's like, "No, this is my house. I've got to stake my claim." And I think she's going to really punctuate it. So we have two different ideas, but the same result, and that's what I think makes this so intriguing.
Yep.
So
yeah, we both agree that Sasha's gonna win. I think by cheaty form of pin. You think just straight up by submission.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's get to the main event here. This is important. This is very important because on one hand, you have a guy who is supposedly injured. However, we do know that he has been cleared thanks to the Triple H conference call from earlier today. On the other hand, you have a guy who is potentially being called up to the main roster in a semi-permanent fashion who's going against John Cena at the next pay-per-view.
I gotta say, first of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't say how elated I was when I heard the sentence, Sami Zayn has been cleared.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. I am so happy about that. So I just want to say, Sami, so thankful that you're healthy, and so thankful for NXT that you're healthy. Here's the thing. If Kevin Owens didn't do what he did last night, and we didn't get the announcement for Chamber,
It would be so easy. That's it.
Yeah.
It's it. Kevin Owens wins. It's over.
Kevin Owens wins. It's over. This changes everything.
It really does, dude. How crazy is that? They literally made NXT TakeOver Unstoppable more intriguing by doing something on Raw that has nothing to do with NXT at all.
And giving Kevin Owens this kind of a role, because don't get me wrong, the United States Championship Open challenges have been great, but you had Kevin Owens come out, disrespect the belt, lay Cena out on his ass, and now Kevin Owens, he doesn't really have his first match for, quote unquote, the main roster on an episode of Raw. He has it on a network special.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty freaking huge against John Cena, no less.
Yep.
So Kevin Owens' future is secure. And I say that with all the happiness in the world because if people haven't been on Instagram, his son reacted to his debut. And I'm supposed to be a heel, and my heart just started melting. So, I'm a softie.
It makes sense that you being a heel, your heart would melt for a heel's son.
I know, right? But in all sincerity, happy for Kevin Owens.
That kid's got the dastardliness in his blood.
I know, right? He's facing John Cena, and then off camera, he's going to break his neck. but in all sincerity, I am so happy for Kevin Owens. It's amazing.
It's crazy to think that he's getting called up before Sami. Or, what if Sami shows up at the freaking pay-per-view?
He may. Dude, because he's been cleared.
That's what I'm saying. What if he costs Owens the match?
See, that's what I love, too. Because Sami's been cleared, the stock that he gained from that whole taking Cena.
Dude, this whole feud could spill over to the main roster from NXT.
Oh, man, dude.
I'm calling it. Owens retains. Zayn screws him out of the U.S. title at the pay-per-view.
And see, that's the thing. We don't even...
Okay, fine. Zayn screws him out of the match with Cena. That allows them to keep Cena with the U.S. title, keep Owens looking strong, and perpetuate this feud. I'm calling it. Owens wins. Zayn screws him out of the match with Cena.
That's a very specific prediction. I love everything about it. You put a lot of thought into it. Me... You know what?
I think the big thing with Zayn is the way that this is going to be a win for him is that even though he'll lose the match, he'll take Owens to the limit to the point that Owens has to sneak the win out. Like he has to win with like a roll up or something that isn't dominant, and it'll be like Owens promised going into this that he was going to end Sami Zayn's career, but Sami is going to take it to Owens to the point that Owens needs to worry about keeping his title before he can worry about ending Sami's career.
You know what I'm wondering? What if, because Kevin Owens really can't seem to out-wrestle Sami Zayn within the ring, what if he gets a count-out victory after apron powerbombing him, and Sami just can't answer the 10 count? I don't know.
Oh no, because that would make it seem like Sami was going to be out again. I seriously think that Sami is going to take it to Owens to the point that Owens is going to need to beat him in a way that isn't dominant.
Well, I've had my prediction in mind for the last few minutes after hearing you speak. And I can't believe I'm saying this.
You think Sami's going to win it, don't you?
No. Here's what I think, and maybe it's just me being swept up by the sentimentality of it all. Kevin Owens is going to take it all. He's going to beat Sami, and then he's going to beat Cena at Chamber. He's going to have so much momentum. I think Kevin Owens is going to be a storm, just tearing apart everybody.
All these predictions going on for Chamber are a little bit premature.
Definitely.
We are going to be doing preview and predictions and live reactions for the Elimination Chamber live special.
And that is true. And again, like everything that you and I may say about an upcoming pay-per-view is all conjecture until we get to our designated date to have these discussions. Yeah. But I just feel like nobody's going to stop Kevin Owens. Nobody.
I can't imagine him losing a match.
I can't either. And see, when you get
to that same note, I mean, a week ago, I wouldn't have been able to imagine Rusev losing a match either.
And that's true. That's certainly true. But here's the thing. I know you and I kind of talked about, I really shouldn't say joked about because we were saying it both, with sincerity, that Kevin Owens may hand over that NXT Championship having never been beaten for it. And you know what? The more I thought about it, the more attractive that idea became to me. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen. I don't think anybody's going to beat Owens for that championship.
But we do have to establish again that we don't necessarily know, and it's actually not likely that the match at Chamber is going to be for the U.S. title.
And that's true.
But if he beats Cena, he'd obviously be number one contender.
If it's non-title, I mean, I'm sticking with it. But the point is, I could see Kevin Owens on NXT, keeping that focus, beating everybody. And then there comes a point where he cuts a promo in the middle of the ring. He said, you know what? I've beaten everybody. I fight for a prize. And this prize just isn't worth fighting for anymore. And maybe he steps on the NXT Championship or something. He gets beat down by Sami Zayn or something on his way out. He goes to the main roster because I just don't see anybody beating this man. After what he did to Cena, it really clicked for me how big of a deal Kevin Owens is. And I love Sami Zayn to death.
And the crazy thing with him is that he's got Triple H behind his back.
And that makes you a made man. I mean, I'm not even saying in that whole, he won because he works out Triple H. No, Kevin Owens is already...
No, but that's the thing, though. Like, that's why everybody is convinced that Sheamus got as big of a push as he did.
Right. But
that's
I feel like
Batista got his spot. That's how Orton got his spot. Like, from what I understand, Triple H and Cena are good friends. Like all the top guys going right now, and for the last decade, it seems like, have been kind of snug up with Triple H.
Right.
And now Kevin Owens, and like it's Owens, Itami, Balor, Zayn, and Neville. They're all Triple H's guys.
Right. I just feel like Kevin Owens, he's untouchable right now.
And unstoppable!
Bringing it back. But nobody's going to beat him. I after seeing him lay out Cena, it crystallized for me, my God, this really is our next monster heel. Yep. This is our monster heel that shows up week to week and kind of serves Brock Lesnar's purpose. Like, that's pretty much, I think, what Kevin Owens is going to be. And you know what? All the people calling for Lesnar Owens, I want it too. Because seeing him lay out Cena, I'm like, okay, who can you really take on? It's fight Owens fight, right? So can you bring the fight to Lesnar? And I think he could. And it's crazy that a guy can be so over and so dominant that you start picturing that in your head. So yeah, Owens to retain against Sami, and he keeps the ball rolling from there. This is his time, man. I'm telling you, like, unbelievable. So, yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Do we have anything? Well, one more question for you, actually. I did have one bonus question I wanted to pose your way.
Okay.
We getting Uhaa Nation's debut on this show?
Oh, I hope so. I hope that he has, like, a random squash match against Bull Dempsey.
Yeah, I mean, Bull Dempsey is the new CJ Parker. We miss you, CJ.
Yep.
But, yeah.
Really do miss CJ, though.
Yeah.
The great thing about him, though, is that, from what I understand, he basically left NXT because he wanted to experience what guys like Zayn, Neville, Itami, Balor, and Owens have already experienced, and then come back with that experience. So he's leaving to better himself. That's so admirable to me.
Yeah, where's your motivation, Dempsey? You joke.
I mean, from what I understand, he did work the indies beforehand.
I'll give him
not necessarily the world traveled kind of stuff as the Big Five, but still.
Right. But I mean, I was kind of mulling it over. I think we may get Uhaa Nation's debut on this show.
Yeah, I think that, and even if we do, I do think that that Bull Dempsey is the right opponent for him too.
But here's the
Maybe
thing.
Maybe even Solomon Crow, now that I think about it, since they kind of used him to get Baron Corbin over.
Yeah, it's going to be either Solomon Crow or Bull Dempsey. But here's the thing. NXT, I don't think, has ever really been known to do like 2 debuts in kind of one night. And if we're already expecting Joe, they may want to pull back on Uhaa, so his thing is a bigger deal.
Well, yeah, but Joe isn't really having an in-ring debut. He's just kind of showing up at the end of the show.
So yeah, I mean, if we agree on that he shows up at the end of the show to confront the champion, then yeah, I don't see why Uhaa couldn't have a match. So yeah,
I mean, even if you just give him a 3-minute exhibition style match, like that's all he needs to get over with this crowd.
Watch Uhaa Nation. We're talking about Bull Dempsey and Solomon Crow. We have to put Ty Dillinger in there as a candidate.
Oh
God.
Dang it.
And you know I'm right too.
Maybe he can squash Jason Jordan, that scumbag.
Yeah, man. But I'm so excited for Uhaa. I mean, I'm telling you, for as much as Lucha Underground is killing it, and I seem to have appeared to have fallen out of love with NXT, it's still an amazing brand, guys.
It is. And the great thing about NXT is these amazing network specials that they do every 3 months.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's as a show, it's good, but it's definitely lost some luster.
Right.
Like it's good, but it's not that, oh my god, this is must-see television every single week. What makes NXT special is these live specials, because they are unmissable. Like, something is amazing when we give it priority over Lucha Underground, because we are in love with Lucha Underground.
Oh, deep.
And so the fact that these live specials are important enough for us to hold off on watching and reviewing Lucha Underground until the following day, because we just have to live react to these things. Like, that's I don't think that the amount of big deal that is can be understated.
Completely agree with you on all counts, dude. This show, I think like all other NXT specials, so I'm not going to act like this is going to be like a first-time thing. All NXT specials in one way or another have some kind of seismic event that just kind of levels everything.
Yeah.
And whether it's Joe's appearance, Uhaa's debut, Breeze becoming #1 contender, whatever emerges in the big main events, Owens retaining, or if Zayn wins, even though neither one of us picked it. Whatever happens in that kind of tier and all that kind of level, things are really looking good for the main event scene and just NXT as a whole. I am so excited. This show, I really do believe it's can't miss, especially after these conversations, because I've always said traditionally when we come together, you and I, and we talk about these shows, I get so much more amped up for them than when I entered the conversation to begin with. And now it's at an all-time high. I'm like, let's get to Wednesday night.
Tomorrow night, you mean?
Yeah, tomorrow night, exactly, because it's going to be just insanity. Can't wait.
You know it, brother. You know it.
All right, well, we talked about Uhaa Nation, which I wanted to do, so if there's anything else in your mind, I mean, you can take us home, I guess, because I have nothing more to say.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything specific. So, guys, we, man, it has been such a great few days, and it's just going to keep on rolling, because here is the current slate for the next 2 weeks. We have, once you guys get this content in your earballs, tomorrow night, we're doing our live reactions to this show, and then Thursday night, we'll be doing our NXT or our Lucha Underground TWitWoW. Sunday night, we're doing live reactions to the Lucha Libre World Cup. Monday, TWitWoW. Wednesday, NXT and Lucha Underground, Wednesday Night Wars. And then the following Saturday, we're doing preview predictions for Elimination Chamber. And then that Sunday, we're doing live reactions to that show. So we've got a freaking stacked rest of May.
Yeah, we do.
And it all started really with Payback, but it is going to keep on rolling. Actually, it all started technically with the ROH Global Wars show, but it is just going to keep on rolling. We will see you all for live reactions tomorrow night. NXT Takeover Unstoppable.
Oh yeah, baby!